Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the 120th running of the National Western Stock Show. And this morning's show here in the Coliseum, historic Coliseum Arena, is the Junior Market Goat Show. Before we get started, I would ask you to please rise, remove cover, and we're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you very much, folks. First in the ring, Class 1. Class 1. As Class 1 enters the ring, it gives me great pleasure to reintroduce, because Mr. Kennedy was here last night to do our weather dose, and he's back today to do the Market Goat Show, Mr. Brian Kennedy from Hennessy, Oklahoma. He is an Oklahoma native and a graduate of Oklahoma State University, where he was a member of one of the most acclaimed livestock teams ever assembled. He is a livestock specialist for Oklahoma Extension and Kingfisher County, and he actively operates a club calf operation that has produced multiple major show winners and promotional sires. His passion is raising great livestock as well as mentoring young people within the livestock industry. Brian has been actively involved in the competitive show goat world, and he has helped families win major shows spanning 3 decades. He is one of truly elite evaluators of our time and has sorted in 15 states, including Midwest State Fairs, the Georgia National, and most recently, the State Fair of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Mr. Brian Kennedy from Hennessy, Oklahoma, which will be going through our market goats today. Thank you. Andis is a proud sponsor of the National Western Stock Show. From clippers to education, Andis is here to support top-notch grooming and fitting for every champion. Let's celebrate the best in livestock and clipping excellence. Andis. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere. Family, work, pets, land. Murdoch's has you covered with jeans and boots, hardware and fencing, toys, tack, and so much more. Shop Murdoch's online or find your store at murdochs.com. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for the exhibitors who are being excused from the ring at this time. Thank you.
Well, good morning to all the people of here at the National Western. We're going to have a great day. The show starts off. We ended with a really, really good doe show last night, and it was awesome and fun to go through and work through those livestock and see, because you know the front side of this deal is really good. And you got a great set of kids from all over the country exhibiting their livestock. We're going to have fun with it today. We're going to give these kids enough time, try to get them ready. Give them an honest look all the way through. And when we start off this show with our lightweights, you never know what you're going to get on this lightweight side. Doesn't matter where you show them at or where you're trying to put them together at. You just never know. There's different sizes, there's different maturities, there's different thicknesses and conditions all the way through. And we're going to land on one that I think is solid, the mostly complete goat in the class. I've never seen one clip like this in terms of his underline. It throws his balance out of whack just a little bit. But as you study this one and just block that out of your mind, that one's cage sets in him right. His shape to his top is really square coming out of his shoulder. He's bigger and squarer and fuller in terms of his hip-loin juncture and hip than the one that stands in two. You just got to get over the fact that his belly line needs to be fixed out of the hair down there, and it just makes it deceiving and unproportional in terms of his balance. The young lady in two has one that is tall-shouldered. He is attractive. He is great touching in terms of his skin and hide and his quality there. His rib cage sets up in him. He absolutely wants to be a knucklehead for this young lady out here and doesn't want to take off and go for her. Young lady, you're staying after it. You need to be commended on that. You do an outstanding job. You read that one right over his top. He is lean and he is shapely and expressive coming right out of his shoulder. His blade sets in him right. He elevates through his neck. He's got a big, big hard hip in him. He's not as wide and explosive to the base of his leg as the one that beats him. He's rounder and rawer over his loin than the one that beats him, but one that definitely we got to find that stands in two. The one in three is the lightweight out here of all of them. We back off and we study him. Boy, that one comes together. That one's got way better days in front of him. He looks like a little immature, nice goat. His lines are right. His shape reads true and his lines up high. He's got a big hip. He's good in terms of his structure and his feet and legs. This and take this one home. This one just does nothing but get better every day of his life. You do a good job, young man. You're a big boy with a little goat there, okay? Congratulations to you. The young lady in the pink shirt, this cape-shouldered one, honestly, when you study and you look at him from the side there, that one's line stays together. His rib cage sets up in him. He's tucked up in his chest. His blade reads right, and his neck comes out of his shoulder good. He's got a big rack in him, young lady. But when we work our way back from there, he wants to get a little rounder in terms of his loin. He's not as big and square in terms of his pins. Doesn't have as much dimension as the ones that stand in front of him, but a nice goat that winds up in four. Good looking one, young lady in the purple here. Love his balance from the side. He is ultra tall shouldered. He is long in his neck, and he reads with shape down his top line. He just simply needs to be bolder and bigger in his cage and wider made all the way through from front to rear. But done a nice job in feeding that one. Put your hands together. Give those kiddos a big round of applause. Good job.
Results of Class 1. 10th place, Brecklin Blaine. 9th went to Brecklin Blaine. 8th place, Elena Wold. 7th place went to Tegan Derner. 6th place, Alexa Johnson. 5th went to Corbin Jagers. 4th, Cambry Rogers. Corbin Jagers was 3rd. 2nd was Jamie Schaefer. And Cole Spurlock was 1st in Class 1. Entering the ring is Class number 2 of the lightweight division. Class number 2 of the lightweights. We will do a champion drive of each division upon completion of the division. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Superior Farms is proud to help sponsor the National Western Stock Show. We invite you to see more about how we help family farms. See the video at superiorfarms.com. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. The tradition continues with the Colorado Farm Show taking place at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Approximately 300 ag related exhibitors, 3 days of seminars, and more. Admission is free, and the $5 parking raises funds to support youth in agriculture through scholarships. Visit us at coloradofarmshow.com.
As we weigh these others, these are going to be excused from the ring. We're doing a little bit different than what we did last night out of it. We got a nice set of goats down through here. A little difference in terms of size. We got some goats in here that's got some length and some extension and some grow in them out of it. Some ones that need more real shape and more doability in them in terms of working down their tops with more real muscle and everything out of it. The white goat here, he's neat from the side. He's got a big hip in him. He doesn't read as lean and as shapely up here, and that's why he's in sixth and didn't make the top five there. Another one that's good looking and tall shouldered, just needs to be a little bigger and better in terms of his cage, fuller in terms of the upper part of his forerib there. But if you would, put your hands together. Give these exhibitors here a big round of applause when they're excused. Man. Heat come alive in Class 2 at the National Western here, and we've got five really nice goats, and it boils down to the pair that I have on this front end out here. And the young lady in the greens weather, this is a long neck, good-looking one from the side. His top and his spine lays in him right. He is really proportional in terms of his rack shape all the way down his back there. He progressively widens as he goes back there. He's bigger and fuller in his plans than the white goat that stands in 2. You just stop and stand back and look at his silhouette there. All the pieces and the parts come together. He's really uniform in terms of his top and bottom line there. We can get a little critical of him. I'd like to make him reach just a little bit more off of his rear leg, but he stays true and square from stifle to hock to the ground there when we put him into motion. And I think we got to find his quality to win this, because he is better in terms of his overall outline with more real top shape in him from his last rib back. I mean, this is a manly one that winds up in 2. This white one here is stout in terms of his feature. His forearm, you can read him and study him from his nose through his ear, all the way through his neck and shoulder and skull there. All of that means manliness. I mean, that is a masculine fronted one here that's got a big turn to his cage. He's got a big, fresh, fat rack in him. But then we start getting a little disappointed in him from his last rib to his hip bone there. Wants to run out of loin for me a little bit. And it's a little bit because his jump sets so high up on him and his loin sets down in him. That is an expressly muscled one that still needs to be wider when we work our way all the way from his last rib to his pin bone. We'd like to make him a shot level, but that is a sound, structured, stout-made one. Congratulations to that young lady with a white one. Good looking one that is super good balanced from the side here. He just looks youthful and green, young lady. He still looks like a kid out here compared to the 2 that stands in front of him. That one's got good days in front of him. He is neat from the side. He is shapely and round in terms of his cage. His shoulder blade and neck sets right. His forearm and blade, all of that ties together there. He doesn't have as much shape in terms of his loin. All the way through there, he's narrow in terms of his pins, not as stout in terms of his feature as the 2 that stand up there. The problem child is in 3 here. This one is got some big time pieces in him. I love his foot, I love his bone, I love his neck, the way it ties up in him and his shoulder blade there. But then we start questioning. He is tighter in terms of his heart. He is the softest in terms of his condition, in terms of his forerib, but he is still good in terms of his muscle, wants to get a little higher in terms of his spine, a little steeper out of his hip, and restricted into his movement. But he does have some feature to him that you got to appreciate. Congratulations to her. A lean, shapely one that comes in next just simply runs out of gas. He doesn't have as much width in terms of dimension of cage and chest all the way through to his hip, but a good balanced one that's got still good muscle. Put your hands together. Give those 5 a big round of applause.
Entering the ring is class number 3 of the lightweight division. Upon completion of this class, we will have the champion drive for lightweights. Champion drive for lightweights right after this class. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and official first aid provider of the National Western Stock Show. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of humanity through human kindness. Learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org. Results of class number 2. In 10th place, Farron Jones. 9th went to Alia Aring. 8th place, Cade Schweitzer. 7th place, Mason Hudson. 6th was Elena Wold. Cambry Rogers was 5th. Paisley Atkins was 4th. 3rd was Bristol Lee. 2nd, Presley Johnson. And your first place in the Class 2 of the lightweights was J.C. Falkenstein. Class 3 is in the ring. Take your clipping and fitting skills to the next level with the eMerge and Pulse ZR2 clippers from Andis. Experience the perfect trifecta of control, power, and efficiency to reach flawless finishes, and find them at your Andis dealer today. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere. At Murdoch, save on the essentials you need, like jeans, boots, hardware, pet supplies, fencing, and so much more. Shop Murdoch's online or find your store at murdochs.com.
as those go to the scales and get weighed. I mean, this is a really, really, really deep class. And here we got to give this young man some ride here. He brings a good goat to Denver out here and just got in a water moccasin class out here with the ones that we look at. This one's got foot and forearm and dimension to him. His skull and his build is good. You just get off and look at him from the 3/4. He's not wanting to hold his top line right. Wants to make him pop out a little bit bigger in terms of his shoulder. Doesn't read as descriptive in terms of his top line as the other ones that stand in front. White Goat, young man, is a good-looking rascal from the side. He props up really good. He stands up tall at the point of his shoulder, and he's long in his neck. But as we really start studying him here, with the amount of condition that he has, he's a little flatter in terms of his upper forerib and doesn't have the real dimension out of his hip through his pins is what I'd like to see him. Another big, tall-shouldered one that just needs more time out of the deal. Real good muscled ones, good high-quality class out here. Put your hands together and give those kiddos a round of applause.
Andis is a proud sponsor of the National Western Stock Show. From clippers to education, Andis is here to support top-notch grooming and fitting for every champion. Let's celebrate the best in livestock and clipping excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as the exhibitors on the rail get excused out of the ring. Thank you very much. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now. And remember, nothing runs like a deer. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well-paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities.
Another extremely good class, and I apologize for taking some time, but I want to get it right in my mind out of the deal, and I think these five are representative of what we got to have out here. When this young lady brings this one into the ring, and when he wants to show and just mount up right there, that one is manly. You can read him through his blade and forearm, and then just opens up tremendously and progressively widens all the way back. He's got the biggest hip in him. He's got the most power when you get right behind him. He's the biggest and squarest in terms of his loin. Get a little more critical of him on the side view there. His jump muscle is so big it makes his loin looks like it sets down in him a little bit. But when we put that one into motion, all the pieces and the parts still tie together. The 1 and 2 is an attractive one. When that one sets up like he's got him right there, that one is rocket through his shoulder and his neck and tall at that point out of the deal. His rack sets up in him right, and he stays with his width and his progression till we get to his hip. He needs to be wider and bigger in terms of his pins there as compared to our class winner there. He's not as manly in terms of his foot and his bone and his chest and forearm as the one that wins, but one that you've got to appreciate a ton of positives in him. He's leaner and more shapely than the one that winds up in 3 there, and I like that about him. Congratulations to that young man. Another manly one that looks like he's got big feet and a stout feature and a nice clip job when we look at him from the side. He reads manly through his shoulder and through his neck and has some hip dimension, but when you really get up on top of him, he's the softest handling of the 3 that we have up here in the front side of the deal. I'd like to make him more descriptive in terms of his shape, especially from his last rib back there. I'd like to widen him and level him in his hooks to his pins compared to the 2 that stand in front of him, but a really, really nice goat that winds up in 3. The one that winds up in 4 is really, really attractive from the side when she plants him and keeps him set up there. He's still immature in his look, his lines, his rib cage sets up in him right. He's shallow in terms of his body. He's good in his shoulder and long in his spine. Where we get critical of that one, young lady, is when we get him into motion. He wants to roll out in terms of the base of his shoulder there, wants to spread his forearm out going away. He's too restricted in terms of his hock. He gets a little bowy when we get right behind him and watch him go, but he reads really good up high all the way through. He's a big pin one that we got to keep. One that is an outlier in the bunch that is just super green and raw in terms of his makeup. His blade and his neck sets up in him right. When the young lady gets him drove, he looks extremely good from the side, but he will absolutely set inside these ones that stand in front of him up here. He needs to be bigger and bolder in terms of his rib cage there, but his feature and his stoutness and his quality keeps him into play here. Congratulations to those 5. Give them a round of applause if you will, please.
Results of class number 3. In 10th place, Peyton Gould. 9th, Justin Infeld. 8th, Cooper Sanchez. 7th place went to Kix Lee. 6th place, Canyon Carter. 5th was Kobe Scroggins. 4th place went to Piper Unger. 3rd was Traylon Sumner. 2nd was Baylor Pearson. And 1st in class number 3 was Sadie Allen. Entering the ring at this time is your champion drive of the lightweights. Champion drive of the lightweights, 1st and 2nd out of class 1, 2, and 3. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Superior Farms American lamb is delicious and easy to cook. Visit superiorfarms.com for great recipes and ask for American lamb at your favorite restaurant.
If you would, put your hands together and give her first and seconds a big round of applause in her first division. Real good set out here, and I mean, I like them. These are kind that have bone and body and cage and feature and muscle and still lean and trim enough in their build and shapely. We can pick them apart, and there's people along the ringside will have differences and favorites out here, and that's all well and fine and do out of the deal. That's what makes it a stock show around. But we started the day off with a nice little goat. His balance, his build is good for lightweight and class 1 there. His shape reads good. He's still immature in his build there, and he's sound enough in terms of his makeup. The one that stood second behind him is lean and shapely and expressive. Just needs more days on feed. That one, his skin is and touch is super good. Just needs to be fresher and fuller in terms of his loin. Got into a middleweight class that was really tough and strong and deep, and this red-necked one surfaced in my mind pretty handily. Just study him through his blade and his forearm, and then way his neck sets up there on top of his shoulder, and then you get right up on top of him. Man, you question from a 3/4 angle if he's got enough upper forerib in him, and he does when you get right up on top of him and really study him and watch his turn coming out the top of his blade there. And he is big and full all the way back to his hip and pins. He's not as powerful to the base of his leg as another one or two out here. Maybe not as sound in terms of his flexibility there, in terms of his reach, but that's picking on him because he's plenty sound enough for a show weather. The white one that stood second behind him there is just big and bold and manly there, that's got shape and expression, just runs out of loin there and doesn't give you a good enough balanced look from hip to tail. Wants to get a little shorter and rounder out of his hip there, that wound up in second, but definitely one that has to come in play there. And then we get to our heavyweight division. That another class that was stacked with some different ones in there that has some good to them. And when this young lady gets this one propped up right here, this one can look like a man too. his body and dimension, he is the boldest in terms of his center rib there. His forearm and blade is extremely good and shapes up big in terms of his rack and progressively widens when you get right all and study him from front to rear there. Ends with a big pin set. You got a question in your mind there. When we step off and look at him there, does his jump muscle fit in him quite right, and is it smooth enough out of it? And it makes it look like he wants to dip just a skosh in terms of his loin, but that one is way, way, way wide there, and that one's got a plenty enough depth and texture to the edge of his loin. And where you like that one too, that one can reach and go and sets him out on the corners and hits the earth and travels and pushes off extremely good. Followed him up with a second one and that yellow-necked one over there that is trendy and good looking from the side. He's neat in terms of his spine there. He's not as bold. He's not as big in terms of his rib and cage. He's not as big in terms of his foot and his forearm as the one that beat him. Not as big in terms as in it. But his quality and his type and kind still has to keep him into play in the mix out here. Wouldn't argue with it. I'm going to study him one more time out here. If you would, give him another round of applause for me.
Your champion lightweight division goes to Sadie Allen. Sadie Allen is your champion lightweight.
That second place one pulls over, and that was a competitive class, and he brings some contention out here, and we got to consider this one in terms of reserve for the division here, and we really get to looking at that one, and it boils down between 2 and 3 here, and a little bit of a coin toss between the two out of them. The rib cages, both of them are right out of the deal. The difference I see in terms of them is real simple. One's a little stouter in terms of his feature. One's a little bigger in terms of his real hip and his pin width, and has a little more pop and dimension when we really start studying him and getting him to the base of his skeleton in terms of his width of stifle and expression as we go along too. Both of them are high quality goats out here. The one in the middle right here, the young lady in the green, winds up being reserve in this division.
Your reserve champion lightweight goes to J.C. Falkenstein. J.C. Falkenstein is your reserve champion in the lightweight division. Entering the ring. Entering the ring is the first class of the middleweights, class number 4. First class of middleweights, class number 4, entering the ring at this time. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. The tradition continues with the Colorado Farm Show taking place at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Approximately 300 ag related exhibitors, 3 days of seminars, and more. Admission is free, and the $5 parking raises funds to support youth in agriculture through scholarships. Visit us at coloradofarmshow.com. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and official first aid provider of the National Western Stock Show. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of humanity through human kindness. Learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org. Take your clipping and fitting skills to the next level with the eMerge and Pulse ZR2 clippers from Andis. Experience the perfect trifecta of control, power, and efficiency to reach flawless finishes. Find them at your Andis dealer today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, put your hands together for the exhibitors that are being excused from the ring at this time. Thank you. John Deere is the official agriculture and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere.
Really good pair up here. The trio on the front side of this deal is really good. And I'm going to tell you what I see the differences here is the young lady's weather here, his balance is impeccable when we put him into motion. His lines stay true in him. His top line is good. He's bolder and blends better from shoulder to forerib than the one that winds up in two. He's fresher and fuller in terms of his flank compared to the one in two. I like the way he handles down his top. He progressively widens all the way through. He's not as big racked as the one that is in two, but he is bigger hipped and he's got more stifle and more dimension. He stays truer from hock to the ground. His balance and his proportions are better all the way through from nose to tail and hock to the ground out of the way. Any way you look at it in that deal, he's wider in terms of his rib. He's not as stout in terms of his feature. He's not as big in terms of his foot size and forearm there. But as we study and you just back off, that one reads like a show wether that's got a big hip and a tremendous amount of muscle too out of it. Congratulations to that young lady. The one in two I like awful well. He's got some big pieces to him. His forearm shape is good. His blade ties in him upright. His rack shape is extremely good. Where you start getting disappointed in him is when you start lining. I'm not saying he's not void of muscle. I'm not saying he's light muscle. But it just doesn't transition in his top line from his last rib in through his loin and into his hip there, and then we put him into motion. He gets, and he's being a knucklehead for you, young man. He doesn't want to walk out and go all the way. He wants to twist and get a little bit uncollected in terms of his rear leg motion out there. Don't think he's unsound there. It's just that he is shorter hipped. He doesn't have the flank, the body line, and the freshness as the one that wins, but an awful good one that winds up in two. The young lady's white goat that winds up in three. You talk about balance and symmetry. Really, really good. Young lady, that one gives you a good look there. That one is fresh in terms of his appearance. He is good in terms of his balance all the way through. He doesn't have the muscle shape as the ones that run up there in front of him there. He doesn't have as much structural width in his heart and his chest and cage as the two. But if you talk about balance and look and quality, we got to appreciate that one. Big backed one here that just doesn't hold himself together quite as well, right? He wants to get a little uncharacteristics down his top line. He's a long hip, good bone one that still has good muscle in him. Just need to make him a notch more quality aspects to run with those. Long bodied round one here that comes to play here. His foot and his forearm's good and his neck and shoulders good. But as we study him, he's narrow on top of his blade as the ones that stands in front of him. Doesn't read with as much honesty in terms of real shape out of his hip and through his leg as compared. Put your hands together. Give him a round of applause. Nice job, kids.
Next in the ring is class number 5, middleweights. Middleweight division, class number 5, next in the ring. Results of class number 4. In 10th place, Ava Fry. 9th went to Autumn Zuber. 8th, Peyton Gold. 7th place, went to Tryanne Goss. Sixth, Jamie Schaefer. Fifth place went to Brooke Booth. Fourth to Caitlin Meckelberg. Third was Kinley Hofschulte. Second, Baylor Pearson. And first was Sadie Allen. In the ring again is class number 5 in the middleweights. Class 5 of the middleweights in the ring. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well-paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for the exhibitors being excused from the ring at this time. Thank you.
Really good class out here, and we're getting deep, and the quality's good. The young man's goat has to win this class. He's the one that is dimensional. He's the one that's got the right center rib in him. His blade and his angles tie together. His foot and his forearm and his balance is extremely good. You put your hands on him, you don't get anywhere disappointed in him. He's big in terms of his rack. He's big and fat in his loin and tremendous out of his hip. His bone, his balance, his structural correctness, his body line, all of the symmetries fit together in this one extremely well. Now, we could talk about him and say he needs to be a skosh longer bodied, but his body type and his width and his dimensions all fit together. He's tucked up in terms of his chest floor. He's the widest and the biggest caged one of the top three that we have out here. I like him quite a bit. The young lady in 2 and 3 here, these are real similar in kind. They are tall, up-shouldered kind of deals that are super long-necked, that are lean and shapely. The 1 and 2's got more real shape coming out of his shoulder. He's definitely has more dimension in terms of his loin there, and I think they're real similar in terms of conformation out of their hip there. I think there's just a little more from shoulder to hip in the one that stands in second. The one in second needs to be wider, young lady. He needs to come at me with more heart and more boldness of rib and base and dimension. And where I get critical of him and the 1 in 3 is when I study him from behind and watch him go away from you, they get flat in there from their stifle to the hock to the ground. The 1 in 3's a nice goat. Just talked to him. Big features out of that deal. He runs out of gas. I don't think he has as much hip as the one that stands in front of him, but a good goat that's well balanced that needs more of him there. The black-necked one that winds up in 4 here, the young man, when he stops him, that's his best look. This is a round caged, wide made one that is sound in terms of his structure. His angles are right all the way through. He is wide and opened up in terms of his top line and big in terms of his hip. Young man, he's entirely got too much condition on him for me today. If he was leaner and trimmer, I could probably work him way up the line here because his build and his width and his kind and structure is still awful good. I'd like to lean him up quite a bit for Brian Kennedy. The 1 in 5 here is neat to look at from the side. He just simply doesn't have as much real dimension coming out of his shoulder, runs out of loin. He's got some shape to his hip. I'd like to expand him all the way through, but a real nice one that winds up in 5. Congratulations, those kids. Give them a round of applause if you would, please.
Results of class number 5. In 10th place, Lexi Vrabeck. 9th place went to Keith Page. 8th, Jamie Schaefer. 7th place, Kinley Utman. 6th place, Brooke Lambrick. 5th went to Piper Unger. 4th, Dayton Morbett. 3rd was Colton Kohler. 2nd place went to Hazen Halfman. And the winner of class number 5 was Jace Sparks. Entering the ring is class number 6. Upon completion of class number 6, we'll have the champion drive of the middleweights. Champion drive of the middleweights upon completion of class number 6. Ready to try a delicious change? Serve your family American lamb from Superior Farms. There are so many ways to enjoy lamb with easy recipes at superiorfarms.com. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for the exhibitors exiting the ring at this time. Thank you. The tradition continues with the Colorado Farm Show taking place at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Approximately 300 ag-related exhibitors, 3 days of seminars, and more. Admission is free, and the $5 parking raises funds to support youth in agriculture through scholarships. Visit us at coloradofarmshow.com.
Pretty competitive up here in this class, and we got two that I'd like awful well, and they're a little bit different. I'll tell you how I describe them out of the deal. The young man here in the striped shirt, this one is one that is super wide centered. He is way, way tucked up in his chest and round in the center part of his cage. He progressively opens up and expands tremendous, especially when we get to his last rib and his pins are big. He is better in terms of his spine. He relaxes more in terms of his motion there. I like the three-quarter view and in terms of his rib shape and how it's elevated and tucked up in him there. He is big-hipped and got plenty amount of muscle. Quality comes to play there. A really, really stout featured one here that winds up in two. And I'll tell you, I think he's deeper from the top of his blade to his chest floor compared to our class winner. I don't think he is long enough in terms of his loin compared to our class winner, but one that has feature, that one that has bone, that still gives you a great look. It's got a big turn to his top. I'd like to see him a skosh wider in his pins compared to our class winner, but an awful good one that winds up in two. Tall-shouldered one young lady that really runs uphill, and his neck sets up in him right. His cage ties in him really good. His rack shape's good. His foot and his bone and his forearm's right. He just simply runs out of gas in terms of real loin compared to the ones that are standing in front of him. He's got a hard hip. I'd like to give him a little more expression down low when we study him from the side. Good looking one young lady that is way level spined and super sound and flexible in terms of his motion there. Just simply runs out of gas. Not enough natural doability and functionality in terms of real width and muscularity as the ones that work in front of him. Super skinned one here that's tall shouldered, that is really, really lean and high cut ability there. He needs a shot more time and more days on feed there. And I think if we can freshen this one just a little bit, this one will be a really, really nice project for the young lady in the next 30 days. Congratulations to you. Give them a round of applause.
Results of class number 6. In 10th place, Corbin Jagers. 9th place went to Whitley Schweitzer. 8th place, Finley Rye. 7th, Addison Hodson. 6th place, Caden Ookman. 5th place, Jamie Schaefer. 4th place, Lainey Hager. 3rd was Emily Adams. 2nd, Jay Sparks. And the winner was Dayton Morvet. Next in is your champion drive for middleweights. Champion drive for middleweights entering the ring. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities.
If you would, put your hands together and give our contestants out here in our middleweight division a round of applause. Nice set, really, really good quality, deep. The heat was in there, and I mean, there was some depth and some good ones all the way through. And just kind of got to pick your poison and how you want to do it. And it started off with a really, really good class here in this lightweight of this division here. This one's balance and build from the side when she's standing still is extremely good. He's not the heaviest bone one, but when you talk about quality and length of spine and flexibility, that one comes to play, and he's still got plenty of width in him all the way through there out of it. Doesn't quite tie right in terms of his hip loin and out from his hip to his tail there, but one that gives you a neat look from the side. Like to give him a shot more foot and bone. Really shapely, muscular one there that wound up in two in that hole. Proportionally, he doesn't balance quite as well. I'd like to change him up a scotch in terms of his flank and give him a little more real true squareness from his hip to his loin there. Wants to get a little steeper there, but the most critical aspect of that one, I love his width and I love his look standing still, is he wants to get a little uncoordinated out of his hock when we put him into motion. Wants to get a little Bowie out there. In the middle division, a stout featured one that we landed on there. I mean, circumference of foot and bone and forearm and still the right kind of body type. He looks manly through his blade and through his neck and has tremendous amount of depth and dimension to his loin. He gets a little shorter and steeper out of his hip. Maybe like to expand him just a skosh in terms of his length of side there, but that one gives you a nice look from the side, change him out of his hip. The 1 and 2 there was real lean and real shapely and expressive there, just simply run out of gas in terms of his dimension of hip into the base of his leg and stifle. Got to expand him there and make him better in going to the ground out of it and widen him on both ends, but super long body, tall shoulder and long spine. Like to just make him come together in a little different package. The young man that just won that heavyweight class in this division, you park that one right there, young man. That one's got some wow to him. That is a round, big caged one there that his blade's right and his neck's good and his forearm is awesome. Get in front of him. That one's chest floor is tucked up into him. And then when you get on top of that one is bar none the biggest in terms of his loin. He is way big at his last rib, and he progression super from there all the way to his pins there. His base is natural and everything. We get critical of that one just a little bit there on the side view there. Does he have enough stoutness and feature all the way to make a champion at the National Western? And we'll determine that here shortly, but that's how I see that one. I think that one's awful good. Stout one at 1 and 2 there. The young lady's got, he's deeper from the top of his blade to his chest floor than his class winner. He's not as big and not as dimensionally when we get right behind him, but I like his foot size and bone. Put the mic down. I'm going to go out here and look at them one more time. Put your hands together. Give these exhibitors a round of applause, if you would, please.
Champion middleweight goes to Dayton Morvet. Dayton Morvet is your champion middleweight.
One pulls over here, doesn't weaken it up a bit. Got beat by an awful good one there. Not as bold, not as wide as the one that beat him in class. It boils down between these two up here on this side in the first and second class here. And they're comfortable. It just depends upon where you want to pick your poison. I'm going to go with the one that's stouter in terms of his feature and bigger in terms of his bone, the young man that wins too. Congratulations.
Your reserve champion goes to Jay Sparks. Jay Sparks is your reserve champion. Entering the ring is class number 7. Class number 7, first class of the heavyweight division, entering the ring at this time. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Superior Farms is committed to the care of the flock. Our employee owners believe good things come from putting the flock first. Get the story at superiorfarms.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for the exhibitors that are exiting the ring at this time. Thank you.
Man, these five here coming, we're getting to a bigger age and a maturity pattern that, man, the problems come out into this deal out of it. And there's about a Heinz 57 class out here, one of every kind. And it's all where you want to put your poisons on out of the deal. And these are the five I think we have to surface and work our way through all of them. And individually, man, they're different. They got some things about them that is uniquely hard for my mind to take out of the deal. But the one we're landing on, I think he's the most honest. I think he's naturally the truest in terms of his cage. He's the best in terms of his real honest base width, in terms of his balance and build. You put your hands on him and touch him out of his shoulder. He is big in terms of his top line. He is big in terms of his hip. Is he as tall-shouldered and as long-fronted as some of the others? No, but he's manly. He's got real shape to his forearm, and he is the leanest one of the five that we have out here, and he breeds a shot more honest all the way through. The extension, the length of body in the 1 and 2 is impressive, okay? That one's featuring his foot and his bone. He's almost a rib too long bodied because it makes his top line just get out of proportion, just a skosh there out of it. He's a little straight in terms of his blade, but you appreciate how tall he is and long in his neck there. He's bigger hipped and he's got more power and he's better at the base of his chest floor than the 1 and 3 there. I like those things, and that's why we got to keep him. He's big in terms of his loin there. I think that one is a logical second. The 1 and 3 there is a big wolfy-ended one there in terms of his front leg structure and his forearm there. His neck is masculine and all that, but he's plainer and he's flatter in terms of his design to his rib coming right out of his shoulder. He's one of the ones that's still got a little more condition on him than I like out of the deal. He's got a big old fat loin. He's sound enough, but out of the top five, he's the narrowest one coming and going off of both ends there. We need to give him more real hip and more real dimension to match his rear leg to his front end, make him have a bigger caboose there. The 1 and 4 here, guys, young lady, this one is crazy good looking. Fundamentally sound, good looking from the side. He is right in his blade. He's good in his shoulder there out of it. Gives you a silhouette, impeccable in terms of his fit job that he has out here. I love the way his hip ties in him. Young lady, he's the least descriptive of any of them that we have out here in terms of real honest muscle coming out of his shoulder, and he's definitely got the most condition in terms of his rib. I'd like to give him, if we could trim him up and give him a notch of shape in him, young lady, I could bounce him all the way to the 1 hole there, but he's got to have more realness for Brian Kennedy. That's the exact opposite of the one that we have here next. This is a powerful, big muscled one that's got crazy shape from his nose to his tail. We just got to get it in a better package. I mean, his shoulder blade opens up in him. He gets weak in terms of his spine. He gets high and tight in his loin. But I'm telling you, you talk about lean cutability of real honest shape there. Got to make him sounder and got to make him in a lot better balanced organization there. Congratulations to all you individuals. Really interesting class.
Results of class number 7. In 10th place, Casey Quang. 9th place went to Leighton Lester. 8th place, Henrik Wells. 7th place, Blair Sanchez. 6th was Bristol Lesky. 5th place, Harper Hess. In 4th, Taylor Glover. Hazen Halfman was 3rd. 2nd place went to J.C. Falkenstein, and the winner was Presley Johnson. Entering the ring is class number 8 of the heavyweight division. Class 8 of the heavyweights entering the ring at this time. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. The tradition continues with the Colorado Farm Show taking place at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Approximately 300 ag-related exhibitors, 3 days of seminars, and more. Admission is free, and the $5 parking raises funds to support youth in agriculture through scholarships. Visit us at coloradofarmshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for the exhibitors who are being excused from the ring at this time. Thank you.
Young man wins this class, and I thought this one hit me the hardest when he walked into the ring here. He's the one, when we get to this size and this weight, he's still lean enough and shapely enough, and his top line holds himself together better in terms of his structure there. Stronger coming right all the way through the top side of his skeleton and ends with a bigger hip there. I like his length of body. I like his shallowness. I like his extra dimension in terms of his forearm and his chest floor and the way his neck ties up on the top side of his skeleton. The 1 and 2 is really a good shapely one coming out of his shoulder there, shorter from flank to flank, not as explosive in terms of loin edge, gets a little rounder and a little narrower than the one that wins there, but his pins and his hip and his quarter in terms of his stifle shape is really good, and his chest floor is nice, just like to shallow him up and make him neater from the side. Long-bodied one here that's got some real good handling characteristics to it, but a little finer in terms of his bone and his feature, not as stout in terms of his look. His top shape's good. Like to expand him and make him and have more dimension out of his hip to the base of his leg compared to the two in front. Tall-shouldered, good-looking one that's a little lean. He too's got a little bit of issue in terms he needs to be stouter in terms of his feature. His foot size is a nickel small, but he's lean and he's shapely and he's got carcass merit to him. The one that ends the class is a stout-featured one that's got bone and forearm there. He's the softest handling one out of them, the least descript in terms of his overall muscle shape there. Congratulations. Give him a round of applause if you would.
Results of class number 8. In 10th place, Trevor Booth. 9th went to Keith Page. 8th, Avery Ewing. 7th place, Alexandria Eckler. In 6th place, Avery Ewing. 5th place went to Emery Chamberlain. 4th, Emily McGuire. 3rd, Emma Stoneberg. 2nd went to Emery Chamberlain. And the winner of class number 8 was Traylon Sumner. Next in is class number 9. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, show your appreciation for those exhibitors being excused from the ring at this time. Thank you.
The last class we've been looking for, and we got the big boys out here, and it's hard to keep these things in line and keep them youthful enough in their look and lean enough in the terms of their real honest shape with the muscularity that they bring. But this one does, and the young lady, I don't know how big he is, but I bet he's is he north of 120? Looks, I figured so. He's a big boy, okay? I mean, you study his shape, he still reads really good and gives you plenty enough look. He's sound enough in terms of his build there. Got to find that one to win. The carcass characteristics and the cut ability keeps this one up in 2 there. He is shapely and he is lean and he is expressive coming out of his shoulder, and he has got a big hard hip in him. He just needs to become in a better package there. Like to elevate him a little bit out of his shoulder there, give him a notch more feature and bone, but that is a round-bodied, good-doing one there that's got carcass bred into him, and I mean, he would hang up a real shapely carcass on the rail there. The young lady in 3 is really straight-lined and good made from the side and sound in terms of his structure, but he reads the plainest in terms of his blade coming out of his shape, out of his shoulder compared to the 2 in front of him. He needs more hip and more real dimension. Lean, shapely, dark-necked one here that's tremendously long-bodied and has a tremendously long hip in him. He runs out of feature, foot and forearm and bone. He needs to have more condition on him. He's a little raw and wrung out over his loin there. Give him a notch more power. Young lady comes up here in 5th here with a stout-legged one that's got some dimensions to him. Just soft in terms of his handle, not as descriptive in terms of his muscle shape there. Congratulations. Give him a round of applause if you would.
Results of class number 9. In 8th place, Corbin Hengen. 7th place went to Alexandria Eckler. 6th place, Stockton Musgrove. 5th place was Tayton Wyckoff. 4th place, Blair Sanchez. 3rd went to Josette McConnell. 2nd, Tegan Derner. And 1st, Presley Johnson. Next in the ring is the champion drive of heavyweights. 1st and 2nd out of classes 7, 8, and 9 will come back in for the champion drive.
the last division of our market weather show. I want to say thanks to the National Western. We're going to do the grand drive tonight down in the big arena down the hill here, but it's been a pleasure to come out here and work with all these kids and get to sort livestock today at the National Western here. The big ring is different than over here on the down below, down here in the basement to my right here. They look different out here, and it's a good place. Just the history of this building is tremendous, and us getting to show out here in the deal, then us getting to go with our champions on down to the big ring and the new facility and everything is an awesome event. If you would, put your hands together, give all this ring help and all the people behind the scenes a big round of applause, because it's definitely deserving. The ladies have been really good, and we've kept this deal rolling, and the class has been smooth here. And we're going to talk this division out here. And I thought this is when we get to the heavyweights, I mean, we're getting them mature, we're getting some things about them, and condition and shape and honest width and realness comes into play in a big, big way. That first class was tough, okay? There was one of every kind in that one. I thought this one was the most complete one there that reads to be the honest in terms of his cage, in terms of his shape coming out of the top side of his shoulder. He's wide and he's dense in terms of his loin there. He's big and got some muscle, and when we put him into motion, he's sound in terms of his build there. The one that wound up second in that class there, that Red Hawk one over there, that one has got some unique things about him. His length of body almost deters a little bit of his balance to him, though. He's super long spined out of the deal. His shoulder blade is a little stilty up front there, but he is elevated up there and got a neck a mile long. He doesn't read with as much real shape coming out of this top side of his shoulder as the class winner did. Just don't hold himself together in terms of his overall balance, but one that is a high quality one that stood second. The one in the middle class, I think he won just pretty solid in terms of being a long spine, sound structured fellow there, that his shoulder's right and his neck set's good. He doesn't read with near the shape to his top and the expression and dimension of loin as the one that stands in front of him, but his balance and his soundness kept him up there. The 1 and 2 in that class, just deeper and plainer in terms of his side, flatter in terms of his forearm, deeper from the top of his shoulder to his chest floor, but still his lines stay good enough. He reads good enough in terms of shape and dimension all the way through to be carried to a big weight. We ended with a class with a great big one out here, and for a big one, man, that one has been fed extremely well and managed really good in terms of just keeping one fresh and still neat all the way through from his nose to his tail. Big muscle, a lot of power, a lot of quality there, just a little past prime. Got a real carcass-oriented one that wind up second in that class there. So if you would, give these kiddos a round of applause, and I'll go out there and select our champion reserve of our last division. Like I said, that class was unique all the way through there. We bring this next one over here on the line, and he's different in type of that one, but we still got to find the positives and the good in that thing there. And I mean, his feature, his bone, his length of body, all the places come together. He's a lean one that's still got real muscle in him. Congratulations, young lady. You have reserve.
Champion in the heavyweight division is Presley Johnson, and your reserve champion is J.C. Falkenstein. Ladies and gentlemen, before you take off, put our hands together and say thank you to Brian Kennedy. He did a great job today. Brian's from Hennessy, Oklahoma. And as he said, he'll be with us tonight for the grand drive. But yeah, thank you for being here, Brian, and looking forward to you for this evening. Third placers in the holding area, please. Third placers in the holding area. Mr. Kennedy will select the ones that are going into the sale. just to clarify for those in the stands, you can only sell one animal unless you are the champion and grand champion and reserve grand champion. If you get both of those, you get to sell two, but otherwise you only get to sell one. So we have duplicates. If they made first place in more than one class and they only get to sell one, then we bring in the thirds, and that's what we're doing right now. The third place animals are coming into the ring. Our judge will place these, and then based on how many duplicates we have, we'll start at the top and work down, and the duplicate, the third placers that can make the sale that way. So we have so many, we have just so many goats that can sell at the sale. So because of the duplicates, we bring in some third placers. First and second qualify for the sale. Thirds are next.